Hello, and welcome back to my Rimworld lore series. Today we're going to start covering xenohumans. Xenotypes or xenohumans are basically the equivalent of aliens in the Rimworld universe, except that they all derive from humans. They're either the result of genetic manipulation or natural evolution that caused an entirely different race to appear. As there is a theoretical infinite number of different xenotypes available in the game for us to create, we'll be strictly covering the pre-existent ones from a lore perspective. This doesn't mean that we are excluding the player-created ones as non-existent or non-canon, but rather we are going to treat them as exceptions, with their number being so small and infinite that they might as well be irrelevant. While the pre-existing ones from the Biotech DLC are canonically present all over the universe and thus more officially recognized as a species rather than a unique occurrence. First of all, in order to distinguish regular humans from their evolved or genetically altered xenotype variants, we must establish what the default in question is. The default humans in the Rimworld universe are referred to as baseliners. Baseliners are essentially regular humans, with the only difference between them and nowadays humans being the fact that in the Rimworld universe, humans in general evolved to be more resistant to the negative effects of radiation, as the cryptosleep briefing states that radiological immunity is a very common adaptation. Scientists estimate that most of humanity is more tolerant of radiation than our Terran progenitors. If we take that singular trait as an exception, then baseliners are essentially the modern man of today. While a xenotype or a xenohuman might be the result of two different xenotypes breeding together, a baseliner was always at the very top of the pyramid, the blank slate from which every single xenohuman derived from. The one xenohuman that I will be covering today is going to be the Impid. Impids are basically a type of xenohuman easily recognizable by their skin, which is either yellow, orange or brightly red colored with blonde or orange hair but no facial hair whatsoever. Another unique feature that distinguishes them from baseliners are their two horns located on top of their skull and their ability to become essentially biological flamethrowers. It is indeed not the color of their skin or the horns on their heads that make the Impids such a unique xenotype, but their ability to spit fire at will. Impids have an extra organ located in their neck that generates a very flammable bile which they can spit from their mouth at will. The organ also presents a separate tissue forming a pouch containing a hypergolic reactant capable of igniting said bile, essentially allowing the Impids to spew flames from their mouths. Although extremely useful, their organ takes about 5 days to generate enough bile for them to use, meaning that an Impid won't be able to spew flames from their mouth more than once every 5 days due to biological limitations. Another notable feature of the Impid xenotype is that they are highly resistant to heat, meaning that they tolerate and prefer hot climates such as deserts to live in. As a matter of fact, if completely naked, an Impid can tolerate up to 46 degrees Celsius or 115 degrees Fahrenheit temperature rather comfortably. The obvious disadvantage to this is that Impids are rather sensitive to the cold, with their lowest comfortable temperature being of 5 degrees Celsius or 41 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning that Impids will naturally avoid living in colder climates and they are less often found on cold planets. Of course, there is nothing that a good parka and a nice fire couldn't fix. Impids are also very capable runners. The movement speed of a baseliner in Rimworld is of 4.6 cells per second, while Impids move at a speed of 5 cells per second. Now, pawns in Rimworld move at the same speed when being chased by a pack of wolves and when taking a stroll outside in their garden, meaning that they have either too much or too little of a sense of urgency at all times. But if we take these numbers and compare them to each other, namely the movement of 4.6 cells of a baseliner and the 5 cells per second movement of an Impid, we can say that rounded up, an Impid on average is 9% faster than a human. The average sprinting speed of a human is around 13 miles or 21 kilometers an hour, meaning that an Impid on average rounded up has a sprinting speed of 14 miles or 22 kilometers an hour. While it might not seem like a significant increase, the matter of fact here is that an average Impid will always outrun an average baseliner. Despite the slightly superior strength in their legs and stamina, the body of an Impid is rather weak. Their bodies have a rather weak immunity, meaning that something like a cold will be more of a problem for an Impid than it will be for a human. Their wounds also heal very slowly, likely due to their body's immune system being underdeveloped, and we can only assume that their arms are on average less strong and muscular than the arms of a baseliner, as Impids are known for being weak melee combatants, preferring ranged weapons and long-distance combat over close quarters. It is likely that the main use of their fire-spitting ability is to discourage anyone from getting too near or to more easily disengage from hostiles that are too close to their comfort zone by pulling out a nice instant flesh barbecue. The way that Impids avoid hurting each other with their own fires is due to a fire-resistant gene that has formed very fast-acting sweat glands and heat-resistant skin. Essentially, an Impid could easily walk through fire without getting as much as a couple of light burns. While their bodies are rather weak, their minds also present a distinctive problem. Impids are predisposed to a natural unhappiness and negative emotions. They generally tend to focus on the bad part of most situations and tend to have a lower mood than their baseliner counterparts. Overall, due to their biological disadvantages and frailer bodies, Impids have the same metabolic efficiency of a baseliner, meaning that they eat on average as much as a regular human. Their genetical complexities, despite the many differences between them and a baseliner, scored on 11 points, one of the lowest in Rimworld, with dirt moles scoring a genetic complexity of 9 and baseliners scoring a genetical complexity of 0. Their genes are categorized as endogenes, meaning that their genes are completely heritable through the birth of offsprings. This translates to the fact that Impids are born as Impids, unlike bearers of xenogenes, which is a category of genes that are modified during life rather than being attained at birth. If a baseliner and an Impid will breed, the result will most likely be of a hybrid, a baseliner retaining some aspects of the Impid xenotype. With the biological aspect of the Impid covered, we can now start talking about their social aspect. Impids are most commonly found on Rimworlds and dry death worlds, and if you don't know what a death world is, I would recommend for you to like and subscribe, as in the near future I will be releasing a video detailing all types of various worlds and planets found across the Rimworld universe. Impids tend to live in savage tribal societies, rarely wanting to coexist with other xenotypes, adopting a hunting lifestyle for procuring food, as they are both terrible farmers and animal caretakers, and their desert climate wouldn't allow for much food to be grown in the soil anyway. Impids are referred as dust runners by other outlanders due to their fast speed, and devils by other tribes due to their horns and ability to spit fire. The exact origin of the Impid xenotype is unknown. While they could be the result of a fast evolution of baseliners on a rather hot climate, their horns and ability to spit fire more likely points towards an artificially lab-induced mutation. The reason why anyone would create this xenotype to begin with is unclear. Given that they have the ability to reproduce into more Impid offsprings, it is likely that the initial purpose was to create a xenohuman capable of inhabiting and colonizing more comfortably planets with a warmer climate, with their fire-spewing mutation introduced as a way to possibly have a mean of self-defense against aggressive local fauna. I would like to thank you for watching this video and remind you to like it and subscribe for any future Rimworld lore related content. I wish you a good night.